What size does your ductwork need to be? Do you know what size your ductwork is for your air conditioner system? Do you know how to figure out what size your ductwork is and what the rules of thumb are for what tonnage and then what size ductwork you need? Today I'm going to give you the rules of thumb and the tonnage and what size ductwork you may need to have, but also I'm going to show you what two types of ductwork there are in the industry, round and square duct. We're going to look at how to measure and how to use a ductulator in short. And then if you have any questions, leave those in the comments. Today you're watching Tips for Homeowners. I'm Tad. Let's get started. The first type of ductwork I want to show you is rectangular ductwork. This is square duct. And if you wanted to figure out the size, you would measure this side and then measure this side, the length and the width. You'd figure out how many inches it is, and then we'd take it to the ductulator. But before we do that, I want to show you the other type of ductwork, which is not rectangular ductwork. This right here is round ductwork. And you would ask, what is better, Tad? Is rectangular ductwork better than round duct? Well, if you're looking for a more custom aesthetic job, I think that rectangular duct definitely looks better. If you're looking for a better sound, then, if you have liner on the inside of the duct, you're gonna have better sound. It's gonna be a little bit quieter. So if you have round duct, this is the insulation that's gonna be used as the wrap for that ductwork, okay? If you have round duct, you're using 3-inch wrap, okay? This is standard. And if you're using rectangular, you should be using 1-inch liner instead of 1/2-inch. However, round duct, in my opinion, airflow velocities can be a little bit better. It's easier for the air to flow through the duct compared to the rectangular duct. But then again, I love rectangular ductwork just because you can custom build it to fit the job, and aesthetically it's more pleasing to the eye. But this is round duct. And how do you know what size round duct is? Well, you get the size of the ductwork, you need to be able to measure it with a tape measure. So this duct right here is 10 inches, and it's stamped on here 10 inches, if you can see that right there. And if I measure it, 10 inches, okay? So that's the way you're gonna figure out what size your round duct is. It's very simple. You just have a tape measure, you just measure the pipe, okay? Whether you can actually get the size from opening your return grill and going in, or you can try to find one of your supply vents and measure it. It's very easy. Tape measure the pipe. That's how you get the size. If you have wrap covering your duct, you're gonna have to take the wrap off to figure out the size if you don't use a tape measure. I would definitely use a tape measure. That would be easier to measure. I'm gonna give you the rules of thumb here in a minute. Let's go ahead and look at how to measure and talk about sizing the duct, all right? So I've made a little sheet here, and I've got a tonnage for the equipment: 2 ton, 2.5 ton, 3 ton, 3.5 ton, 4 ton, 5 ton. And I've got a ductwork pipe size, okay? So 2 ton needs at least a 14-inch pipe. Your 2.5 ton needs a 14 to, honestly, it needs a 16-inch pipe. 3 ton needs at least a 16-inch pipe. 3.5 ton needs an 18-inch pipe. 4 ton, at least 18. And then 5 ton, I would stick with the 20 to 22-inch pipe. So this is what you need, all right? This will give you a great rule of thumb for you to be able to figure out, hey, is my ductwork even close to this? If it's lower than this number for 2 ton, it's not big enough. And let me tell you, 1 to 2 inches can make a big difference. Now this is ductwork sizing to 0.05 static pressure, okay? So this is a ductulator, and I've got a video on how to use this. Definitely go check out that video if you want to learn more. But I've got round duct diameter in inches, and then I've got rectangular duct dimensions. And the gist of this is I match the CFM, which units are rated in 350 to 400 CFM per ton. So I'll basically go to, hey, I want 800 CFM, which that is 2 tons, because 400 twice. I'll match this up, all right? And then I go down here, and round duct says 15. So that would be what I'd need for a 2-ton unit. Gotta have a tape measure. Let me give you guys some more tips. All right, so say you can't get to your ductwork, but you got a return grill in your house. This is a good way for you to measure and find out what your return duct is, what size it is, so that you can figure out if it's sized correctly. You open up the return grill, you get a flashlight, and you find your duct. Of course, this is the duct right here. There may be a round duct though, and you can measure and figure out what size it is. Maybe it's 14, maybe it's 16, but this is a good way for you to measure your ductwork and figure out what size it is. Your return, you can never have enough return. But remember, if you don't have enough return, you will not have enough supply. Hey guys, just want to put this in here. If you're looking at your ductwork and you're finding out that you got a lot of leaks, you want a good way to seal it, I wanted to include that in this video as well. This is the best tape. This is foil mastic, Polyken foil mastic, all right? UL 181B. This is going to be TVA standard tape, and it is awesome, okay? Now, if you need something like duct tape, we've got that, of course, and then chrome tape. But this is the go-to. Now, if you want something else that's really nice to seal the duct, this is a water-based duct sealant, okay? It's water-based, it's gray, and it's called a duct butter, okay? That's a term used to describe this. And you basically take a brush and you brush it on your seams, okay? Your S's and your drives. But this is great tape for sealing up your duct. Definitely check it out. I'm just gonna give you some more tips here. Cubic feet per minute is what CFM stands for. And this is what a typical duct system looks like. This is a reduced plenum system. This is what we typically install. You can see there's different sizes of duct depending on how long your ductwork has to be. Depends on how many sizes you need. And what you do is every 30% you reduce the size. That way you're equaling out the CFM you need for the lines that you have left, okay? So this is 1200 CFM. We take 400 CFM because we got probably two 8-inch lines, and then we size it down, and then we've only got 800 left. So we started out with a 3-ton unit. See, this is supply trunk sizing for a 3-ton unit. We had 1200 starting out because 400 CFM per ton times 3 is 1200. And then we used 400, and then we sized down 110, 130, 200. So that's equaling out to another 400. And then we size it down again. This is what's going to provide you with an equal amount of feet per minute out of every supply vent. And if you have a real technician, a real company that's checking your equipment, they're going to be using an anemometer to measure all those supply vents. And typically you want 400 to 700 feet per minute for each vent. Now there's one more thing I want to show you, and that is if you want to measure static pressure and you have a real technician that is working on your equipment, he's going to have a magnehelic. That magnehelic, he's going to be able to measure the return and the supply to get the total external static pressure, okay? And what you want to do is you want to measure the static pressure and determine the airflow that you need, okay? So really good information, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. There's two different types of vents. There's floor vents and there's ceiling vents, and you need to have a certain amount per tonnage, okay? Because if you have a 2-ton unit, you need at least 8 6-inch vents, okay? And you can do a 3-ton unit, but you need 12 6-inch vents. 4-ton unit is 16 6-inch vents. 5-ton unit is around 20 6-inch vents. So make sure that you check out my video on how many vents do I need. Make sure you never close these supply vents, because if you do, you create more static pressure. And static pressure is something that you need to know about, because just like this air handler over here in the shop, there's a recommended static that the manufacturer recommends that you operate this equipment at, okay? I'm gonna show you that right now. Tested external static pressure, 0.5 inches of water column, okay? So if you go beyond that with the static pressure, you're not gonna have good performance out of the system, and then you're going to degrade the components. The motor, that's some flex. We don't normally use flex on jobs. We use all hard duct. We use 1-inch liner. All of it's glued with an adhesive, and then it's spot pinned, and it just looks a lot better, okay? So if you got some duct work in your attic, just measure it, and if you could, go check out my video on how to use a ductulator, and you'll be able to figure it out. Now, one more thing I'll tell you is you need a certain size return grill and a certain size filter. Here, we'll go upstairs real quick, and I'll talk about that for just a minute if you'd like. Just want to say thank you so much to all my subscribers. I really appreciate you guys. And if you definitely can, I would love for you to become a member of my YouTube channel. If you want private videos, member-only videos of specific things, I can make videos for you to try to help you, ductwork consultation, tech support if you're a technician watching this. All right, let's get some more advice here. So you need 200 square inches per ton when you're doing your return grills. That means if you have a grill that is 20 by 30, okay, this is 20 by 30. That means 20 by 30 is 600 square inches. 20 times 30. is 600 square inches. Then that's going to be good for a 3-ton, because if you take 3 and you times it by 200, that's going to be 6. Okay, so 20 by 30 is what you need, and that's how you come up with that. You got a 20 by 20, that's 400 square inches. What is 20 times 20? Okay, 200 square inches per ton. Okay, so if I take 200 times 5 tons, then that's 1,000. All right, one more thing I want to tell you: always use the cheapest filters possible, because the less resistance on your airflow on your return side, the less power consumption, and also you're going to have more airflow. So that's just a kind of common sense, but you know, not everybody's an air conditioning pro. So thanks for watching. I'm Tad, reminding you, I'll keep you cool if you let me.